warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Selamat
Okay.
pagi, Cego.
Today, in this morning, we will talk about some material about traditional biotechnology is fermentation. Okay, in biotechnology, fermentation has been defined as an anaerobic respirar, which organism compounds are converted into simpler molecules and chemical energy or ATP is obtained. In colloquial language, fermentation has a much broader meaning, which tends to encompass the complex of enzymatic and microorganism stimulated breakdown of macromolecules within the fermentation substrate. Okay, fermentation was not clearly understood all over the world until Louis Pasteur demonstrated the direct link between viable yeast cells and alcoholic fermentation. Fermentation for the good of this text will be broadly defined and bioprocessing using microorganisms and the chemical that produce enzymes, acid, gases, and volatile to achieve desirable characteristic. Okay, perhaps some of the information included in the following post can be useful to home cooks, chefs, and food industry professionals in creating new products which can benefit of the wood which they produce. One premise of the research is the few master artisans who make, for example, leavened bread really have a grasp the metabolic pathway of the yeast which they use to make the bread rise. But this does not stop them making excellent bread. Okay? Many other species enjoy fermentation, just to demonstrate that we as humans are not alone. Here is one notable example. The Malaysian pintail thistle, for our purpose, is a particularly interesting species of its behavior. This tiny primate is completely reliant on alcohol. Every night, they can be found guzzling down the equipment fermented
Stop,
nectar.
Lan. You talk too much.
I'm very confusing with what you talk about.
I have an idea. Why don't just we try to make it, guys?
Yes, that's right.
Yes, so good.
Why we don't make a tempe?
Okay, because this topic about that traditional biotechnology, let's make some product. Traditional biotechnology fermentation is tempe. Okay, let's.
Okay, let's go.
Hello guys, we are in the market right now. We want to buy some tempe for make the oseng-oseng tempe. Okay, let's check it out. Hello everybody, we are in market. We have to buy some tempe for make the oseng-oseng tempe. Okay, let's check it out. Okay guys, we will cook the product from Tempe. And the first I will be introduce the ingredients.
The first one, we have tofu and tempeh. We have soy sauce, and then
pepper, salt and sauce.
and then we have onion and garlic, also chili, and then oil. Next, masako, and the last sugar.
But my hands are slipping off the wheel. Now the tables have turned. Now I'm up all night. I'm picturing you acting like a fool. I'm on the other side. You're like a full moon, and I'm up all night.
Okay guys, the first step is cut all the ingredient. The first, I will cut the tempeh.
September we met. I could tell by your smile you hadn't been with a good girl like me in a while. Yeah, you were impressed. Couldn't leave me alone. Text me every time that you pick up the phone. And I had control in the driver's seat, but my hands are slipping off the wheel. Now the tables have turned. Now I'm up all night. I'm picturing you acting like a fool. I'm on the other side. You're like a full moon, and I'm up all night howling at you. Tables have turned. Tables have turned. Tables have turned. Tables have turned.
And the next step is cut the tofu.
Now I can't catch my breath when you say my name. I feel tight in my chest. Can't handle the space. I need you here by my side. You make me sweat in the coldest of nights. Yeah, I had control in the driver's seat, but my hands are slipping off the wheel. Now the tables have turned. Now I'm up all night. I'm picturing.
And the next step is cut all the ingredients. There is chili
And onion.
and garlic.
Tables have turned. Tables have turned. Tables have turned. Tables have turned. Feelings all turned upside down. I guess I'm the needy one now. Feelings all turned upside down. I guess I'm the needy one. Now the tables have turned. Now I'm up all night. I'm picturing you acting like a fool. I'm on the other side. You're like a full moon.
While waiting for them to prepare the ingredient, I want to ask, what is the tempeh?
Yes, so tempe is one of the typical Indonesian food that is well known to foreign countries. All Indonesian people must be familiar and maybe make tempe as a food that must be on one of their diets every day. Tempe is food made from fermented soybean seeds or some other material that use several types of Rhizopus molds, such as Rhizopus oligosporus, Rhizopus oryzae, Rhizopus stolonifer, or Rhizopus arrhizus. This fermentation preparation is generally known as a tempe. Yes.
The next question, what mechanism of fermentation tempeh?
Okay, the mechanism of fermentation tempe. Tempe is formed a fairly long process. Tempe was able to form because of the help of several Rhizopus or mosaic tempe. Among other things, Rhizopus. Rhizopus oligosporus, Rhizopus oryzae, and others so on. On tempeh processing, there is a procedure when soybeans are soaked approximate 12 until 18 hours to create natural lactic acid fermentation. This is necessary for the fungi growth. This is characterized. In low weather, there are bubbles and acidic odors caused by bacteria Lactobacillus growth. Don't forget after the marinating your beans again to avoid too much feed and high acid condition because they can inhibit fungi and growth later. After the final procedure, tempe will ferment from kapang Rhizopus.
And the next question, how to process of Malang tempeh nutritional content in tempeh?
Of course, tempe have some process for making it. The first is wash the soybeans clean, and the second soak the soybean for about 13 until 18 hours, and then if it's soft, exfoliate the skin and rinse using water. And then boil back the soybean seeds that have been rinsed with the water earlier, and then drain on the trays. Use a fan to not too hot, and then add the tempeh to the soybean seeds everly, stirring well. Put the soybean seeds that have been given in banana leaves or plastic bags for thin to thickness according to your taste. And then to get good tempeh, the time needed for the fermentation process is about 2 days at room temperature. Don't forget, try to keep your soybeans covered in mushroom. And also, tempeh have nutritional content. Tempeh is a source of vegetable protein, which in it contains a lot of food fiber, calcium, vitamin B, and iron. Then, in tempeh, there are also antibiotic and antioxidant contents that can cure infection and prevent degenerative disease. Eating high protein food can help control appetite. Tempeh is a better source of protein than meat and is the only source of vegetable that contain vitamin B12. In 100 gram tempeh, there are 20.7 grams of protein, 8.8 fat, 13.5 fiber, and then of course various other nutritional content.
Okay, and there are some food products derived from processed tempeh, like tempeh chocolate and tempeh nugget tempeh, tempeh pizza, tempeh burger, and ice cream from tempeh, and many other. And the product is tempeh is very benefit to our body.
I never made it, but I know what it takes. I'm motivated by a mix of emotion. Got my statement, and I'm reading it slow so I can understand it fully. Appreciate my stand and go out of this world and right on time. Oh, never in my life have I seen the sky light up like this. longer find another reason to breathe this air. And now we made for ourselves. This won't be the last time. Oh, never in my life have I seen the sky light up like this. I'm far away from Earth and I wanna know if you exist. Mission control, do you read me? Send me my coordinates lately. Mission control, am I drifting? Tie me to someone who will love me. Yeah, I knew it when I made you. I'm not the only one who's alone. Find me soon and take me home. I knew it when I saw you. I'm not the only one hanging on. Tie me to someone who will love me. Oh, never in my life did I wanna see you more than this. And every time you're lost, I wonder if you know you're finished. I'm reading when I can, and I only hope you watching this. I hope you know that I exist. Mission control, do you read me? Send me my coordinates lately. Mission control, am I drifting? Tie me to someone who will love me. Yeah, I knew it when I made you. I'm not the only one who's alone. Find me soon and take me home. I knew it when I saw you. I'm not the only one hanging on. Tie me to someone who will love me. Somebody to find my life. Somebody to pick me up. Somebody to pick me up. Somebody to find my life. Somebody to pick me up.
Yeay. The masing-masing tempe and tofu finally
Done.
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 Okay, this time to eat. Okay.
Yay. Apa iku? Apa iku? Iku sing nutupi kamera iku.
Tidak.
Hai. Persiapan UAS. Kita bersenang-senang dulu.
Mbak,
Enggak apa ya?
kora rek ya lorek.
Next question. mekanisme of
Kurang atas ya.
Oke. Udah dimatiin.
Sampai menit sebelum bisa waduh suwe ngira nih.
kan 20 menit.
Iya ya.
Tanda. Bisa. Oh.
Apaan sih ngapi apaanmu?
Nah, sigaran tang. Agak tak rekam lho.
Seta ya Allah.
Tempe. Kan ini orang 6, makannya yang banyak rek, mumpuni gini.
Kita